Good afternoon, everyone. So, it's Friday, and yeah, let's see what the markets will bring us. So, this week was quite wild, I think, because we had a lot of movement down, and eventually the last 2 days. So, if we look back at yesterday and the Asia session and London session, we reclaimed quite a lot. Let me just open up a minimal view. There we go. And if we zoom out a little bit. So what we can see over here is this was on Wednesday evening. So we had the straight drop down and it was right after this pump over here. So this at first looked very bullish on Wednesday. Then we had some bad earning reports pushing us all the way down, and eventually we reclaimed it again. And now we also have a gap fill over here that is interesting. So what my next thoughts will be for the Friday and the close is probably a nice move up. As you can see, we also reclaimed this gamma level over here. And again, keep in mind, we are in the pre-market as we speak. So yeah, I would think a nice push up all the way to 74 or above 75, so 7,500. I can see that happen. Keep in mind, this was already the case earlier this morning, I think. I have not traded this morning or this London session yet. In the meantime, I was very busy with something else that is important. Yeah. Let us do some pre-market prep. Do we have some news? Let's see. So just looking at the headlines, is there something important? We of course got the Europe news, and yeah, this will have an impact if you're following the news and the invasion of Spain this morning. This of course also has a big impact on the European stock market. So I'm very curious to see how that will eventually tipple over into the futures market, and if it's having an impact on the CME symbols that I'm trading this afternoon. So will I see an impact on that on ES and NQ? I'm not sure, but I would think it will. But we will find out in less than 25 minutes. Overall, I think that is the biggest news in Europe, and we are now going to the New York session, so the America session. So it could have an impact. I think it will, but we will find out soon enough. Yes, it should also be visible here, but this is mainly driven on the trading market. So as you can see, the Microsoft news will end up in here, and the Spain news is more political, but it should also be over here. And now everything is from Newswire. I will eventually also wire in Bloomberg News and Reuters News as well. So keep an eye out for that update. I think I might do that this weekend. I already have the API subscription for Bloomberg, so I will read the clausule and see if I'm also able to add it in my terminal if that's allowed. If it's not allowed, then I will see what's possible, but yeah, if it is allowed, I will add it. Okay, we still have a lot of interest in the upside and also to the downside. Now, if I look at the overall markets and the last 2 days, we have been quite bullish. So a pullback could make sense, but if we reclaim a couple of levels looking only at ES, if we can reclaim the 7,500, I can also see a nice push up for 20 or 30 points. Currently, I'm just seeing if I can take a couple of stabs here on NQ. I will try. There we go. Break even. And out. So the first trade was a loss and the second was a break even. And if I held a little bit longer and I did not move my stop to break even, I would have eventually taken profits. But this is what I'm currently doing is micro scalping. So I'm heavily looking at the bid and the ask. And everything around it is also being taken into consideration. But my main focus is on the bid and the ask. And since this is pre-market, it's just gonna, chop around over here, I would assume. But now that ES has taken over here, I might enter another one. Stop a bit wider because it's NQ. Higher. Okay, and there we go. And now we have a successful trade. Keep in mind, this is all linked to the Interactive Brokers account. It does have paper, but all these trade executions do get fired. Yes, I agree, Lazy. So showing up every day, and this is not only for myself, but also for any active trader watching. Just showing up to the markets, doing this over and over, and learning the craft of trading is, it's a skill. And eventually you can learn it over time. And the long was also taken into consideration on the NQ while looking at the footprint, and we took over this gamma flip and now we're underneath it again. So as a scalp, I would say yes, I was looking for a couple of ticks and that works for me. But as you can see, it can also just chop around and flip back again. And I'm not aiming for big swing trades. Now, keep in mind, when you have earnings, you like to have a couple of runners. So what I would do is I enter with 2 contracts. I'll take one off after a couple of ticks just to cover the fees of the trade. And then the other contract, I let it run. So I could do 2 things. I could take off the take profit and just let it run and ride, and then move my stop, and then eventually I'll let myself stop out in profit. Or I accept that it is a scalp and then I don't have any runners at all, but at least I will probably hit my target fairly quick. This is the one I wanted. Over there. Let's look at the session stats. So what are these session stats? The session stats show the movement during the complete session. So this is complete trading day. So the Asia, London and New York session all combined. And this shows what day was the most traded, and you can see the lows and the highs basically here. And today we are not full yet because the session is still ongoing. But here you can see kind of a pattern of what happens during the week. What I'm currently seeing on the ES is that we could see a nice little move up and see if we can reclaim it. Now, we can already try and do a buy, because over here we can see we have more power. I'll be quick. I'll set my second take profit right around here. Let's see if it can push, if the buyers have steam. If not, I'm risking 2 points. And you can also see it over here on the chart for a better view for some of you. Minimal DOM versus actual DOM. For me, the actual DOM is better than the minimal one. The minimal one works, but I like to have a complete view of what's going on in the markets. And having this footprint, or this zoomed in version of the 1 minute candle bar, is telling me a lot. Same as the bid and the ask, of course. So a minimal DOM, yes, I could probably trade it as well, but I like to have a overall view of what's going on. So over here as well, we can see that the Magnificent 7, even though Apple is down by a lot and it's pulling it down, we can still see that there is interest to probably flip this soon and eventually buy up the stocks. So let's see how that plays out. For now, this is a very slow trade, and I was hoping for a bit more action. And in about 14 minutes, we have the New York Open as well. I think I will probably stream the first 15 minutes of the New York Open and actually, yeah, see some volatility in the markets. Because, yeah, streaming the pre-markets could be a bit boring, I think, with just, yeah, looking at paint dry and chop. But I'll let this play out. So again, I'm just risking 2 points here to eventually, there we go, cover one contract for the fees. I am setting this to break even, and now I actually want this to go. If it doesn't go, then it stops me out. Break even, that is fine, and otherwise I'll aim for the 4 points. But as you can see, we also have the gamma flip over here, so yeah. It could take me out, and it takes me out. Okay, that is fine. This is the risk of trading the chop. But nothing's lost in theory, because yeah, I just got out break even, so I didn't lose anything. Let's see if NQ is a bit more interesting. I do want my preset with my gamma levels back. So I am switching the presets. There we go, that's way better. Seems we had a nice bounce over here on the put wall. And we also had a previous reaction over here. That was a very quick scalp. And as you can already see that sometimes I place limit orders and sometimes I just market smash in. So whatever I see in the trading DOM over here, I will react to it accordingly. So this was a wait and see reaction, a quick, yeah, whip and down. There we go. This one could get stopped out. There we go. Boom. That was quick. Stop abusing the markets. This is what happens when I zoom in on the NQ. But my thesis is right, so I keep longing it and keep long scalping it, but my stops are so tight that I just get stopped out over and over. And sometimes I hit my profit as well, so it's a bit of a mixed bag. What is the... Well, we still got 6 minutes till the open, so I can still play around. Come on, there we go. Okay. 100%. So you could never do this with a prop firm, I think, but with a personal account, you got way more leverage and way more room to play around. So prop firms don't like when you microscope, for instance, like I did in the beginning. Currently, I'm letting this run, and don't try this at home, kids. Yes, that is correct. Boom. And that was more than 100 ticks. So I am very happy with that. So on NQ, that's like 15 points that I took right there with 6 minis. So that is quite a lot. And I kept having the long teasers basically looking at the gamma over here. This was very strong going up. Now, if you look at it at a charting perspective, seeing something like this is bearish. You could see a slow and steady grind up and then a sharp move down. So in trading terms, that would be bearish. But I could also clearly see on the DOM that the buyers were present and they were trying to push the price up. So I got stopped out when I was trading my strict microscoping brackets. When I eventually took away the brackets, I let the trade breathe finally, and my thesis eventually played out. So longing this was the right move, and now we see that the sellers are stepping back in, trying to push the price down again, and they are successful. We are coming down a bit now, so that is good. And in the meantime, even though I'm trading NQ over here, I have a footprint open of ES, because I also like to know what's happening on ES. Okay. They are still losing steam, the sellers, so the buyers are still in control here. Let's see what time it is. So 1 minute until New York Open. So this is the point. You can already hear the bell. This is the point where I am hands off and I am gonna watch the first 5 till 10 minutes of the market open. And now it's just a watch party, but having 6 contracts on NQ with a 15-point profit, I'm very happy with that trade actually, so can't complain. That was a good pre-market session, even though, as you could tell, I was getting chopped up in the beginning. Okay, ES is reclaiming the 7,500 over here. With force, mind you. Let's see the gamma levels of ES. So again, the gamma levels are now live, so this can switch around. And you can already see this big blue line over here, this is going to be a level of interest. And I already said during the start of the stream, if ES reclaims the 7,500, I can see an aggressive push up 20 to 30 points. And the gamma level is basically confirming my thesis here as well. Yep, so far we have a nice push on the open. And with a push, I mean a real strong push. A validation for the gamma to be strong was the previous NQ pop when it reacted earlier. What do you mean with that comment exactly? Okay, ES might stabilize here for a bit. If not, the 17 level could be an interesting level to stabilize at. But it's already having some issues over here. So my next question is, do I wait for a pullback down a couple of points and enter the longs with it? Or do I wait for a reaction and a short at the 17 level? And probably if it goes to 20, my thesis is incorrect, so then I will wait. But now it's getting interesting. And we are just 4 minutes in the New York Open, so my rule is 5 to 10 minutes, I'm hands off and just looking, but it's already nice to just look and have a thesis ready. Fumble, if you can explain your last question a little bit better, then I can probably help you out and give you a clear answer. Hello, Alpha. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. So currently we are just watching the New York Open. You have a question. Shoot. Yes, good afternoon. What is your question? Okay, in the meantime, we can see that ES is slowing down again. And just like I said before, my thesis would be to wait and see if we can find a balance above the 7,500, and then I will probably scout for a long. Or if the sellers step over here and they push it down below the 7,500, I will probably look for a short. But for now, I'm hands off and just watching. Can I pass a 150k Lucid direct funded account with your terminal and strategy? No, you cannot. I do not trade one strategy, I trade multiple strategies. Can I make profit on an account without hindering? This is a very hard question, so this all depends on you, I guess. I don't know. I would say no. All right. All right, so the sellers want it below the 7,500, so I would now opt short. Okay. This is not looking bullish anymore, so we see that the sellers are now in control. And I would say with force. Oh my god, Fumble, did you short? What was your entry? This is a nice aggressive move. Sir, you are a very experienced trader. Please guide. Just want to make 100k. Okay. Well, if you compound funded accounts and trade like 50 funded accounts, that's what I used to do. Eventually, they will put you to a live account. But yeah, that's possible. I would start out with Apex and do what I did and try to pass 50k accounts and slowly grind that to a payout. And if you want to compound that, you can add multiple prop firms to that with a copy trader if you like. Oh, nice. So your entry was at 12. And what was your exit? All right, if the sellers have the power and the steam to continue this down, I can see it go all the way to the gas slip down here. But let's wait and see. No, sir, I just want to trade on Lucid and want to make 100k from it. Please guide. Okay, let me ask you a question. What is your strategy currently, and what is your goal to making 100k from it? How will you achieve that? Fumble, no, I do not think that is MJ. But I am curious to see what the logica is behind your theory of making 100k from a Lucid account. I mean, it's possible, but yeah. Okay. All right, my 10 minutes of hands off are off. So let's see if we can find a trade. So what have we seen during the open? We had a nice push up and a solid rejection down. So we are back at the pre-market open level once again. And if you looked at the pre-market and you grabbed a cup of coffee and you came back again, it would look like nothing has happened. But in the meantime, you can see the spike up and down. Okay, let's have a look. I am not tempted to long this yet, and I'm also not that tempted to short. What I would like to see is a nice pop back up, and then a clean rejection around the 7,490s. But this is not a spot where I would like to enter just yet. All right, I think I will start my session, the serious session that I need to focus on, because the markets are, picking up, and I also need to make some money for the day. So for now, I would like to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a nice day. Ah, no way, MJ. You just joined, and I quit my stream. Yeah. MJ, thank you for joining, but yeah. This is the end credit, so yeah. Bye everyone.